Hello, everyone. This is Cece with Going Solo, and you're listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And I'm so pleased to have you with us tonight. Those of you that don't know me, I'm Cece Schatz. I'm the doyen of relationship building. And basically what that is, it's just really helping those come together in a format where we can inspire and relate and really truly grow from within. And that's what it's all about here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. So I am delighted to have you with us. We're going to move real quickly into our guest tonight because she is just thrilling. I've been so very, very happy to be able to make this connection, and it is just a thrill to bring her on board. Come on board here, Nadine Joy. It is so great to have you. We're going to bring her right up here. And let's see if she can, if we're having a trouble bringing her up to, there we go. Here we go. Well, I'm so glad to see you. Nadine Joy, I want to show and share with everyone how wonderful you are, because you have authored a book which is just dear to my heart. It's a how to find or uncover your purpose after relationship loss. And that is truly tremendous for us here on Going Solo Network, because a lot of us have experienced that type of loss and trying to move through. And we do want to inspire people and really connect with them and help them during that difficult time. But your background is truly extensive. You're an executive and development consultant. Of course, you're an author of this book, and we're going to talk about this brand new book you're going to be having come out. You're a public speaker and educator. You're a relationship expert, life and parenting and business coach. So you really hold the gamut of all of those credentials as we move forward in our lives. So I want to thank you for taking the time on being with us, and share with us a little bit about your journey. What got you into doing what you're doing, and what propelled you into writing such a meaningful book?
Yeah, thank you so much. I just want to start by saying thank you to you, Cece, for having me here as a guest on your show. I am truly honored to be here today and very excited to share this content with all your listeners. So yeah, I'm going to start with how I got started with doing what I do now, and I'm going to bring you back to, I grew up in a home where my mom and dad were divorced when I was a baby. When I was 6 months old, my dad was an alcoholic. He was a drug addict. There was many things in my life that I had been through. As a child, I always looked at myself as being different, as somebody who stood out from everybody else. And I didn't want to be different. I wanted to fit in with everybody else. So I repressed the gifts that I had and all of these things that I've been given up until the point where I, was an adult, where I was 18, 19 years old, went into university again, graduated top of my class. I ended up being a geologist working for a top oil company here in Canada, and worked, checked off all of these boxes that I thought was going to make me happy, that I thought, in my mind, that I had built up to, what success looked like. And once I had achieved this, I was there, and there was a void that was inside of me that really wasn't being fulfilled. And I knew that it had to do with when I was a child, my gifts that I'd been given was always just to really help people on a deeper level, to really just bring that joy and hope and inspiration into people's lives, to be able to help them like nobody else could. And I got to this point in my life where I was working as a geologist, and I started getting sick. I actually got really sick, and I didn't listen. I again kept pushing myself. And I got so sick where I couldn't even work anymore. And this was my, rock bottom moment, where I reached, rock bottom. I was ill. I, was in bed, days on end. I couldn't, basically I couldn't do anything. I had no energy, and I was sick in the hospital. Doctors couldn't help me. And this was my inspiration to bringing back who I really was, my true self. And who I was as a child, which was to help people. From here, I had many things. I had a miscarriage at this time. There's many, many things in my life where I felt, looking back on it, that's at the time I felt like it was just such a horrible, I lost my job. I had a miscarriage. I had all of this loss in my life, back to the point of, where my mom and dad had divorced when I was a baby. I didn't realize any of this had really affected me, especially my parents' divorce when I was a baby, until this point in time, where I realized I had these gifts to share. And my true gifts were to just really help as many people as I could, find their purpose in life based on, where I am in my journey. And from there, I had, I have 4 kids right now. I had my first child we went on a play date, and I noticed multi-generational patterning. I noticed how parents were parenting their children, and it wasn't really necessarily in the best interest of the children. So I decided this was my first step in becoming a coach, trainer, an educator, a consultant, was to really just help these parents become better parents. And from there, it evolved into life coaching, business coaching, and now doing leadership consulting and public speaking.
Yeah, it's amazing that out of tragedy, all of a sudden, you break through, and there are these gifts that you have that I think we know about the gifts that we have, but they just kind of lay dormant a little bit, and maybe we suppress them. And so I just really think that it's awesome that those can really touch into the gifts that they have and be able to propel and move forward. And it's remarkable how many make a change in not only their lives, but lives around them. So let's talk a little bit about developing one's gifts. If you were going to share with the audience tonight about really tapping into your true potential, your underlying gifts that you might very well have, any suggestion that you could give to them to be able to look deep towards maybe finding their own gifts?
Yeah, of course. There's many times in our life where we look at other people and we compare other people, and we think everybody else has all of these amazing gifts that we don't have. Whereas I believe everybody is given a unique purpose and unique gifts that only they possess. There's nobody in the entire world that has those same gifts. So some things I recommend to my clients and that helped me kind of discover the gifts that I had was really just taking a step back and noticing, maybe the things that you enjoy speaking about or you enjoy talking about, what are those topics, and asking your friends, your family, people that are close to you, what are some things that you're good at? What are these things? And that might lead you to some clues as to, what your gifts really are that might, surprise you. Many times the gifts that we have are right in front of us, but until our awareness increases and we have people outside of our immediate circle come and tell you, you're really good, for example, at basketball, you really just have this natural knack of playing basketball, whereas somebody else might, it might be a lot more difficult for them to get to the same level as you, where it just comes to you naturally. So I think a lot of our gifts we do have naturally that many times we discount, and when we ask other people, it really does shed that light on us and our gifts and who we are, especially after going through loss and things that have happened in our life, and divorce and all of these things that we go through that, we look at in the moment as being such, dark moments. But I believe there's no such thing as good or bad. There's just who knows kind of moments. The moments that you think, the worst moments in your life can turn out to be your greatest blessings. Like my example was when I was sick. I looked at that as, I literally thought there was a point in my life where I literally thought I wasn't going to be here tomorrow. It was that bad. And I never thought I could see the light on the end of the tunnel. But now looking back, many, many years later, that was my greatest blessing, because it allowed me to do and experience the gifts that I do have and be able to share them with other people, to give them hope and to know that, they also have that within themselves to be able to transform their lives through these darker moments, through loss, through, all these things that go on in our life that we look at as being so-called bad, where in fact, they're not bad at all. They turn out to be our greatest blessings in life.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I remember going through my divorce and thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I going to be able to move forward? I don't know anything. I had devoted my life to really making sure that my ex-husband's career was going good. I did everything for him. And then I had this moment, I don't know what they call it, like an epiphany moment or whatever. I had this moment thinking, well, if I could help him, develop a business, if I could do all of the aspects of developing that business, why couldn't I do my own? Why couldn't I develop my own business? And so I really started thinking about my self-worth and pumping, myself up and realizing, what, I can achieve something if I truly want it, right? And so I decided that that's what I was going to do, is I was going to do that shift that I think our mindset needs to do, and stop thinking about what I couldn't do, but thinking about all the various things I could do. And when that happened for me, things just started to all take place. Things started just to happen. And I wonder if that happened for you.
Yeah, exactly. That there was, I can think of many moments where like what you just described had happened in my life and continue to happen every day now. I wake up, every morning I have a morning routine that I do. I wake up in prayer and in meditation and just listening for my guidance and what I'm supposed to do for the day, what my purpose is for that day, because I believe, we have a purpose to serve other people in the world, but not only in a big way, but in the small ways. Like it's not only the big things that make the huge difference in other people's lives and in our lives, but it's the smaller things that we do that we sometimes forget. Like maybe giving somebody a phone call or smiling at a stranger on the street, or these little things that not only for us, like when we have them happen to us, change our lives, but it also changes so many other people's lives. And these aha moments, like you described, they're huge to have these epiphanies that happen in our life that literally change our life. And if you hadn't have gone through that, you wouldn't be where you are today. So knowing like you've gone through what you've gone through for a reason, you meet the people that you meet for a reason. There's there's that underlying purpose to everything that happens to you in your life. And to know just because you've gone through certain things that it's not necessarily, there is, a purpose for everything. There is a purpose for every single thing that happens.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And like you, when I was going through some of the darkest times of my life, I became very ill. And moving through that, what it now does is give me an appreciation for really the value of my life. And so I realized that, there is a purpose in my life. And so that's why your book really hit home to me, because I thought, my gosh, can you imagine, really uncovering your true, authentic self as we move forward in our lives and give appreciation for what we have and the value of what we have. It's it truly is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And so I really resonated with you and with your book, and I thought our listeners would also do that. They would gain a great deal of knowledge and really the inspiration I think one needs to be able to move forward. So as you're moving forward and you're writing this book, so what propelled you to continue to write? Because I mean, you have so many wonderful aspects of your career. Why did you decide that you wanted to really, I mean, did it come easy for you to write? Because we've got a lot of really inspiring people out there that they have a book within them. And so if you were going to shed some light on them to be able to empower them to move forward, to write a book, what would you say?
I'm so glad you asked that question, because I wasn't one of those people that, grew up when I was little and always wanted to be an aspiring author. I have a very funny story how my first book, Uncover Your Purpose, actually got written. I woke up one morning. It's kind of a short, long story, but I woke up and all I heard was, you need to write a book, you need to write a book, you need to write a book. And I think I probably heard it about 100 times. Like, I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. And as I heard that, I discounted it completely. I said, oh, that's good. That's really funny. I am not a writer. I'm not writing a book. There is no way I'm writing a book. So the even funnier thing is, about 5 minutes later from then, I went on Facebook, and the first post I saw was, somebody looking to, help people write their book, and they had 2 spots left in their program. And I thought, oh, this is gonna be funny. I'm gonna email them saying I literally just woke up and I heard I'm supposed to write this book. I have no idea what the book would be about, but I just know that it's meant to help people. I did know that. That was the one thing I was certain. If I wrote a book, I knew it would help a lot of people. So I emailed them and just kind of let it go. I said, what happens if they email me back? Then okay, maybe I'll look at further, writing this book. If not, then I'll just let it go. And sure enough, the next morning I got an email from them saying, we don't, it doesn't matter. You don't have a topic. We'll work with you on that. And we would love to help you write your book. So the next 2 weeks, I worked with clients all over the world, and I am not exaggerating when I say this either. Every single person I talked to was asking me, I'm feeling really stuck in my life right now. I'm feeling like there's more that I could be experiencing. I don't know my purpose. Like, can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? And that's where I really went internally and really thought about, if all of these people are asking me this same question, there's obviously a need out there for people to want to know more about this topic. So that's where my topic of my book came about. And I have 4 kids at home. So my first instinct was these voices in your head that says, you can't do this, right? So I know all of your listeners can relate to that. Like, everybody has a book inside them. I believe everybody has a story. I believe our story matters. No matter who you are, what age you are, your story matters, and your story can inspire and change people's lives. I just want to hit that home so strong, because I have had so many people since I've written my book say, my book is a guide of, helping find your purpose, but they said if it wasn't for my book, they didn't know where they would be. And just having one person say that to me, made it all worthwhile. I would wake up in the middle of the night. So how I wrote my book was I woke up in the middle of the night. I was awoken at 3:30, and I'm not kidding again, like on the dot every single night for 3 months. I wrote my book in 3 months. I would wake up, I would write for 2 hours from 3:30 to 5:30 in the middle of the night. And then at nighttime, I would write from 11 till 1 at night, and I would compile it. I wrote my book. My entire book was written on my phone. It was written on my notes on my phone. I had a spot where I would go, and I would literally just whatever came up, I would write topics that came up that would help people based on my experience of being a coach and a consultant and a parenting coach and a life coach and all of these things that I had worked with for the past decade, of things that really are going to matter to people, that are really going to change their life. So I'm so glad you asked that question. We all have a book inside of us. We all have a story, and we all can inspire others through our own experiences. So it is just so wonderful. I encourage every one of you listening to start writing and to share your story with the world, because it matters so much.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Beautifully said. And, the whole thing is that so often, we are meant to do certain things in our lives. And sometimes we kind of squelch that down. We don't proceed, we don't move forward in it. But it really is there if we just listen to it and pay close attention to what our inner feelings are and what we need to do. And so often I'm the same way. Like, I'll get up, and it's funny that you said 3:30 in the morning, because I would do that too. And when I was first building this business, and I would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning on the dot, and I'd start working, and I only slept for like 3 hours, and it was amazing. Why I just kept doing that, and I still had the energy. I still move forward. I mean, it's like you have a purpose in your life, that you are meant to do certain things, and that we should definitely follow through on that. We should definitely do that and move forward. And so I commend you for moving forward in your life and inspiring others. And it's just so great that you do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. And so when we take the break, we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit deeper on your book and what propelled you into, again, moving forward. But we want to give some tips for the audience so that they can also participate in that. So we'll be right back. Everyone, I want to thank you all for joining us here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. We are the #1 singles internet talk network. We are so pleased to be here with you, and we are grateful for that completely. So just want you to know that WGSN-DB Going Solo Network honors and we respect all of your, trials and difficulties that you're going through, and we hope that we're touching base with you along the way. So if you all would like to get some more information, or if you'd like to make a comment on any of our shows that we have here, please just go ahead and email me at goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. Of course, you can visit any of our websites that we have, which is the goingsolomedia.com. That's our radio and TV. We have the goingsoloNetwork.com, which combines all that we do, so you can check it out. And then we've got a brand new site called goingsolonextstep.com. So I hope you will join us there. But let's get back to this wonderful show that we're discussing, this awesome topic of really about how to find and uncover your purpose. I think it's just absolutely wonderful. And again, you're listening to Cece Schatz. I am the doyenne of relationship building. You are listening to Going Solo with Cece on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. Let's get right back to the show, because I am thrilled to be able to have our guest with us here tonight. Her name is Nadine Joy, and I don't know if we've got a caller on the phone or not. Let's see what we have here. Sometimes we do get callers, so WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, you're live on the radio. Can I help you? Hello? Hello, you're live on the radio. Can I help you? Oh, they hung up. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes they just test out the number. You never know. But again, let's put our number up. If anybody does want to call us, you can call us live right here on 727-238-8970. Or you can make a comment on either our Facebook page or WGSN-DB Going Solo Facebook page or the YouTube channel. We're live on both places. So we are excited about that. So let's get back to our topic tonight. We have Nadine Choi with us. She is an executive and development consultant, and author, public speaker, educator, relationship expert, life and parenting, and business coach. So we are so great to have her. You know, she's all the way from Canada, just so you guys know that she took time out of her day to be able to come and join us, and we do appreciate that. So let's get back to our subject, how to find or uncover your purpose after relationship loss. Now, Nadine, you deal with individuals worldwide. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've worked with countries all over the world. I've worked with clients in, I think, almost every country of the world. So I've actually, the other day I was talking with a client from the Channel Islands, and there's areas of the world that I didn't even know existed that I have clients from now. So it's fascinating. I actually have not many people know this about me, but I actually have a geography degree, and I'm fascinated with the world and culture and just learning about everything I can about people of all walks of life. So the diversity of my clients is, like I said, all over the place. And I just welcome, anybody, no matter where you are in the world, right? We all have things that we've gone through. We have all had, traumas and things from the past that we're dealing with, that we're carrying, that, it's just, we really are all one. We're really all, the same. We've all gone through, yet similar, yet different experiences at the same time.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And sometimes when I'm looking at some of our stats and I see the listeners that are from all these different places, and I'm just amazed that how we can truly connect with each other through some very difficult times in our lives, but we also lean on each other, and we're inspired by other people to be able to move forward. And so what I so much took from our conversations that we've had is that out of diversity, out of really very hard, tough times, maybe even times when we didn't know, like you said, there were times you couldn't even get up in the morning. You couldn't move, to be able to propel yourself, to be able to figure out what your what your next step in life was. How did you get from that point of, almost desperation, of not knowing what the answer was going to be for you each and every day, to being able to reach beyond that to really make a difference in the world? How did you get from A to Z? And I know that's maybe a hard place to be able to hard question, but let's see what we can do with it.
Yeah, and that's something I think will probably benefit your listeners a lot too, from hearing the journey of going from there to where I am today. So it's not a short answer by any means, but I believe I started out, I was in desperation. Like I said, I was sick, I was ill, I felt like there was no hope, doctors couldn't help me. And I literally started researching, and I took it in my own hands. I started doing as much as I could to find out about healing, about, every single modality that was out there to help myself get better. I changed the way I was thinking. I realized I had belief systems that I had taken on as a child, not having a father around. I had, and the belief systems that we carry many times, like the number one belief system of people globally is, I am not good enough. So most people believe that. And that was, of course, that was mine as well, that I was working through, that I wasn't good enough, and I'm not worthy of love, and I'm not worthy of goodness and greatness in the world. And we all carry these negative belief systems within us that literally block us from really seeing who we really are and who our gifts are and what our purpose is. So I believe that, all of us don't just have one purpose in the world. I believe, we have many purposes. There's many things that we're good at. There's many talents. There's many gifts that we have inside of us, that we should be sharing with the world. But when we take a step back and look at it, what So for me as a geologist, I wasn't fulfilling, the purpose of my life, which was to help people. So I had to take a step back. How can I change my life? How can I bring more fulfillment and meaningful purpose into my life to be able to, propel not only to make myself and help myself get better through God's grace and through prayer and through, all of these other things that I learned, but also, to realize that at the end of the day, we're only here for such a short time. Our life is extremely short. And when we make the most of each moment and living in the present moment, that's when true miracles occur. When we live in the past, that's where depression creeps in. When we're living in the future, that's where anxiety creeps in. But when we focus on the present moment and just being here in this moment and allowing, our life to unfold naturally and trusting and surrendering to the process and allowing things to just happen, we release our control. Like I found going through what I went through that I had, I wanted to control everything in my life. I had a tremendous amount of perfectionism. I wanted to be perfect. I wanted to achieve all of these, win all these awards. And once I did that, then I would feel happy. Then I would feel fulfilled. Once I did that, I still felt empty. I still felt that void. And that was because that deeper, meaningful purpose in my life to help people wasn't apparent and present in my life. So I believe when you look at, take a step back, a greater perspective, look at your life, look at the things that matter the most to you. The things that you at the end of the day, your deathbed, pretend you're, 80, 90, 100 years old, you're at the, your last day here on earth. Looking back on your life, can you honestly say that you lived your life, filled with purpose, filled with meaning, filled with joy and love and compassion and empathy and humility and all of these amazing things for other people? Is there, would you have any regrets? Would you have any regrets? That's another thing too, like looking at your life, living your life each day without any regrets, no matter what it is, like just being able to trust yourself, trust the process, surrender that, let go of the control, have faith. For me, that was a big thing, is my faith and having faith in God and having faith, that I'm not alone no matter what I'm going through. It can be this horrible, horrible experience, but knowing that I'm loved unconditionally no matter what, just simply because I exist. I don't have to prove my worth. I don't have to prove my love. I don't have to prove anything because I am loved just because I exist, just because I am here on the planet and I do have a purpose here to fulfill. It is so important and so imperative that, each and every one of you listening today takes a step back and really evaluates your life. What are you thinking? What are the thoughts that go through your mind every day? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are you telling yourself, certain things like I was saying, I'm not good enough. Who do you think you are to write a book? You're not an author. Who do you think you are to, do all of these amazing things? Like, these are lies. These aren't true. These are your perceptions that you've taken in as truth that creates blocks within you, that prevents you from living your life, your greatest possible life here on earth, being your best version of yourself.
That's very well said. I so agree with you, because I do feel that so often we wrap our lives into how much money we value success, or we put up the mark of being successful on money, and that's not necessarily the truth, because I think when it comes down to it, it's really our purpose, and are we fulfilling our true purpose? Do we have value? Have we given value to this world and value to others? I really do feel that is really the ultimate most important thing. And so, I really enjoy what you had to say, because I do feel that our listeners totally understand that. I mean, they have gone through devastation in their life to be able to move forward, to pick themselves back up. And it really is amazing to me, those that have come from that place to being inspired to move to something that maybe gave them joy when they were younger, or just inspired them to reach beyond what they ever thought they could possibly do. And you're writing a book, I think, was really a milestone. Was a really truly a moving platform for you. So it's terrific that you did that. I so get it. When I wrote a chapter in a book. I'm a collaborative author in a book. And when I had to write my chapter, I remember her, and I said to her, I'm not a writer. I mean, I just, I've never done that before. I don't know. I'm a talker. I don't know if I could do that. And she said, oh yeah, you can do it. You can do it. And I kept putting it off. And so finally she sent me a message. She says, how's that chapter coming? Because we need it, the dates arriving or whatever. So I had decided that I would get up early, early like I did normally at 3 o'clock in the morning. And I get up early. And so I went to bed at night, and that's why it hit me what you said, is that I went to bed at night and I kind of prayed on it, and I said, listen, I'm just going to release it. I'm just going to have faith that it will happen. And when I get up in the morning, I'm just going to write the chapter and just get it done and knock it out and get it done. So I got up in the morning, I sat down, it was all quiet, it was still, I just sat with my thoughts for a few minutes. I started writing, I had the whole chapter written in half an hour. And no, hardly any. I think maybe she just did a couple little revisions, like maybe a paragraph or so, a period or something like that. She didn't change any of the wording, anything like that. And it just happened. And so I'm saying this because if I can do it, anyone out there can do it. If there's something you're afraid of doing, it's your roadblock. It's your own personal blockage. It's not that you can't do it. It's just it's your own thing you need to come over. So with saying that, how can we help those that have some sort of blockage that they want to be able, and I think the blockage is really fear, isn't it? So how can we have someone overcome? Could you give some advice to overcome a fear in your life where, you need to do something, but you just can't get to that jumping over the bridge type of thing or jumping over the fence to get it done?
Yeah, for sure. And I want to say before I get into that is I want your listeners to know to believe in themselves. And when they hear guidance, when they hear voices in their head that are inspiring them to do something, to actually take action on what they're hearing. That is so important. I hear so many people saying, I've had this inspiration for so long, but I just have never taken action on it. I've never had the courage to take action on it. And I just wanted to give you hope and inspiration that when you do take action on it, like you said, your chapter was written in half an hour. Like there's so many amazing things that come along that just allow it to happen with ease and grace. And it's one of those things that until you experience taking action on what you're hearing and listening to that and trusting yourself and believing in yourself and who you are and your abilities and your gifts and all of these amazing things you've been given, it's just incredible to hear. So what you were saying back on, what are some things that we can do if we do have fear, if we do have these things in our life that are maybe preventing us from moving forward? I do believe fear is a huge obstacle in so many people's lives. And I wanted to mention, so fear is actually the opposite of love. So when you have fear, there's most likely a lack of love or unconditional love that you're experiencing in your life. When you have love, there's no fear. So I just wanted to say the two cannot coexist. They are opposites, just like light and dark, like happy and sad. When you have fear, all I want you to do from now on is just fear. All fear is love turned upside down. So when you start thinking fearful thoughts, when you start thinking fearful thoughts or things that are, maybe preventing you or are causing you to be paralyzed to take action on what you're hearing, I just want you to send yourself love, to focus on love, to focus on, casting out the fear, because fear does not belong where you are. And I know we all have fear. Fear always creeps in, especially when we're going through change in our life. That is always one thing that comes in to try and stop us from living our purpose and living our dreams. And I just want to allow you to bring the light in, let go of the fear, focus on love, because fear and love cannot coexist in the same place.
Yeah, that is so true. I think the biggest thing for individuals is if they can be aware that that's what it is. I think sometimes when we're held back from completing something, or we know we have that inner knowing that we're supposed to be doing something, but we're not doing it. If we can really evaluate ourselves and say to ourselves, what is stopping this? Is it really my fear of being able to move forward? And if we can acknowledge that, if we can have that awareness, then that means we can step through it, right? And exactly. So I really do think that that's very, very important. And then once we acknowledge it, once we begin to step through it, we can then have that fear propel us into moving forward. And I think that is an awesome, when that happens, there's like no stopping you. You know, when you have said to yourself, listen, the only thing is stopping this is myself. It's just my own inner fear, my own inner insecurities. And then when you turn that, make that shift, there's just nothing that can prevent you from being successful in whatever you achieve and whatever you want to do. So I love it.
And the other blocks that we can have too is like things from our past. I didn't mention this, go into much detail about this, but things that have happened to us, especially in childhood from age 0 to 7, that is imprinted in our subconscious mind, that allows the patterns to take hold in our life and allows it to react in certain ways. So these are huge, huge things that have happened in your life. It can be, you know, big things from your past, traumas, abuse, you know, whatever it is. But being able to recognize, you know, that these are a part of who you are, that made you who you are, but it also might be preventing you from being able to see your true self fully and completely, and allowing your light to shine, to really bring your purpose out to others, to serve others into the world. And when we have these blocks, so when I work with clients, I sometimes can see almost like it's like a ball of kind of like gray that's stuck in certain parts of their body. And that usually represents, or always represents, some memory, some experience from the past that is still being held within their body at some point. So for example, like somebody who, you know, might have stomach issues or stomach problems, might have gone through something when they were younger where they were, you know, abused or certain things, and they internalized it, and their perception took it in their stomach and held it there for so long. And they might be totally unaware of their stomach problems are actually related to this, you know, event from when they were 5 years old that, you know, that they've internalized, that they've never even recognized that it's still there. And until, you know, we go through different experiences and exercises that creates that awareness that, you know, allows them to see, oh, maybe that's what it is. And we go in and it literally, you know, blast that out and heal that and allow that to release. And then those blocks, once those blocks are cleared away, it allows them to really bring their light through and to shine that out and to really see, you know, the gifts that they have and the gifts that they've been given. It wasn't until I healed all these negative belief systems and, you know, energetic patterns that I'd been holding from my past and my trauma that I was to be able to really honor the gifts that I've been given when I was a child. So just being able to recognize your past and how important that is, not only in the patterns that we create in ourselves, but also with our relationships that we have with others and the people that we have in our life. It's not something that's talked about a lot in the world. And that's one thing that I work with my clients on. Like, everybody has blocks, no matter who you are, no matter what you've gone through. If you think you haven't gone through anything, you still have blocks. Like, everybody has blocks. There's just different layers. If you imagine like an onion, we all have these layers that are compounded depending on how many things we've gone through and we've internalized as our truth in our life. So it's just a matter of, you know, going in and reworking these things to be able to bring back your truth of who you really are, not your perceived truth, but who you actually are, who you were born, the day you were born here on earth, before all this programming came in from society, from parents, from teachers, from educators, from all of these people who tried to imprint, you know, not knowingly and not intentionally, but impacted who you really are and the gifts that you have in your purpose here on earth.
Yeah, you're so right. You're so spot on. Well, I tell you what, you know, time goes by very, very quickly. So I want to make sure that we share all of your information, and I'm going to put it up on the screen here. If you all want to reach Nadine Joy, she has a business called Nadine Joy Consulting, Inc. And do you want me to mention your address or?
Yeah, well, actually, I do want to offer all your listeners a free copy of my book. So I do have like the Uncover Your Purpose, Heal and Share Your Gifts with the World book. So anybody who's listening, if you would like a free copy, I would love to send you a copy of my book. You can email me at Nadine. So it's just NADENE at nadinejoy.com. So NADENEJOY.com.
Okay, that's great. Well, we have it up here. So also her website is nadinejoy.com. So make sure you you go on the website too. I guess if you go on there and contact, you can do it. But I also want to share with everyone that you are one of our elite guests. So we have all of your information on our website. So all of the information is there. You can just click it, go right on in and obtain your free copy. So that would be awesome to be able to do that. But it goes by so quickly, this time does. So if you would like to share any last words, or if you have a famous quote or something like that that you'd like to share with the audience before we close out, I would love to be able to have that. Oh, and one more thing before we close the show. You guys, I want to share with you, she's got a brand new book that's going to be released here in 2020. I almost forgot. It's called Love is a Guide to the Power of Love. And it will be released in the spring of 2020. So again, the name of the book, so you want to write it down, is Love is a Guide to the Power of Love. I think that sounds very inspiring. And so I'm looking forward to reading that book. So yeah.
Thank you so much. And it's a book that is 33 chapters all about love. It's basically everything that you've ever wondered, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, the harder things, the more difficult things about love that a lot of people don't talk about. So it is a very powerful book. It is one of those books that you read and it will completely transform your life and your view on love, and bringing them more of that into your life. Like I wrote the book to bring people more love, because we can never have too much love, no matter where we are. Right?
You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So again, if y'all want to email Nadine, it's Nadine@nadinejoy.com. Her name is spelled Nadene. And the last name is Joy, JOY.com. Her website is nadinejoy.com. Please look at her website and contact her there. Of course, if you want to give her a call, her phone number is 306-530-8306. She's in Canada. But remember, internet, we can reach you all over, no matter where you are. So that's the beauty of internet. So it's just a wonderful, I love internet. And I think the world is really exploding because of it. So it's pretty awesome. But Nadine, getting back to just the closing out the show, is there any one last thing you'd like to share to inspire us as we continue on in our life's goal?
Yeah, I would just like to say to all your listeners to, again, believe in yourself, you know, take every day, as a new adventure. Wake up with, you know, excitement and just wonder in your life, and know that each day you have the possibility to have a new beginning, to, you know, completely change your life, because you are worthy of love. You are worthy of goodness, and you all have a gift and a purpose inside of you that is meant, and a story that is meant to be shared with the world.
Well, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And your book is terrific. It's How to Find or Uncover Your Purpose After Relationship Loss. Again, it's Nadine Joy. We love you. You're an executive and a development consultant, an author, a public speaker, an educator, a relationship expert, and life parenting and business coach. And it's an honor to have you on the show. So we want to thank you so much for the time you've given us here this evening. And all the time, because I know we're going to have you back on. So I'm excited about being able to do a little bit more with you, with inspiring our listeners. So I'm excited about that. But I want to thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciated it beyond words.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, I tell you what, everyone, the time goes by extremely fast, and we love it here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You are listening to Going Solo with Cece, and I am Cece Schatz, the doyenne of relationship building. We had a wonderful Nadine on, and again, I'd like to make sure I share her information. You can contact her right on our site, WGSN-DB Going Solo Network, which is goingsolomedia.com. She has an elite page there with all of her links there for you, so that you can contact her if you would like. Also, her business is Nadine Joy Consulting, Inc. Her phone number is 306-530-8306. Her website is nadinejoy.com. You can reach her on her email at nadine@nadinejoy.com. We want to thank you so much for being on the show here with us. It is such an honor to have you, and to have you join us each and every week. It's just a blessing. And so I want to thank you. I hope that you will join us back here, same time, same place, I'm looking forward to it. We are going to be missing the Thanksgiving. However, on the Thursday of Thanksgiving, I want to give all of you a blessing, and I hope that you enjoy the holiday with your family, and those that you love. Surround yourself with beauty and wonder, and be inspired each step of the way. God bless, and we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.